The Methuen Memorial Organ Hall recently held the Pipes and Pipes Festival, where the public were invited to come into the hall, hear the music, and learn a bit about the history of the organ from Ed Sampson.
So a little bit about the organ. The Boston Music Hall opened in 1852. It didn't have an organ in it, and some of the counterparts of us on the Board of Trustees who were passionate about organ music wanted to install an organ. So they raised the funds and they consulted various people about who would be a good source to build the organ. Among those that they did consult with was the organist and composer Franz Liszt. The organ was built in Ludwigsburg, Germany, cost $60,000. It was installed in the Boston Music Hall in 1863. The case that you see here, which is American black walnut wood, was not carved in Germany. That was carved in New York by the Ritter brothers, who at one time employed Edward F. Searles, who was responsible for this entire hall. The organ was the pride of musical Boston for some 20 years or more. And then the Boston Symphony Orchestra was formed, and they wanted more stage space. This organ, as you can imagine, took up a lot of space. That Boston Music Hall still exists as the Orpheum Theater, sort of a rock concert hall now. Hamilton Place, Washington Street, sort of opposite the Park Street Church. There's a period picture, if you have time, on this right transept, my left, your right, showing the organ in the Boston Music Hall. So because the Boston Symphony Orchestra was formed and they wanted stage space and the organ fell into some disrepair, there were leaks in the roof and whatnot, it was disassembled and taken out in 1884, the summer of 1884, put in storage, and the person who bought it, who was a sewing machine magnate, Mr. Oliver, he had in his intention to give it to the New England Conservatory of Music, and they would build a hall to house the organ. He passed away before he could accomplish that dream. So the organ was put up at auction to settle his estate, and Edward F. Searles, who many of you people who live in town know of, Searles and Evans and so forth, the millionaires in town. Edward F. Searles was an organist himself. He was passionate about organ music, and as you know, he had very deep pockets. So he commissioned Henry Vaughan, an English-trained architect, to build this hall. As far as we know, it's the only instance of such a hall being built strictly to house an organ. In today's parlance, it was Edward F. Searles' man cave.
Speaking of man caves, the festival also included a car show behind the organ hall, full of hot rods from the good old days.
Check this one out. Chris? You want to check this one out? You came in?
With the event helping draw more attention to the organ hall, hopefully the fall and winter concert series will have a large turnout. This is Ian Hayden reporting for Methuen Now.